Hi, it's Ellie. In today's video, I'm going to teach everyone how to Dutch braid. Dutch braiding is basically the same thing as French braiding, except when you cross the hair, you cross it under the middle strand instead of over the middle strand. That's basically the only real difference. So we're going to go through the steps of Dutch braiding. These are just some overviews of the final or end product. The only thing you'll really need is a hairbrush and just hair ties to tie off the braids. So I'm just starting off by brushing my roommate's hair, showing the hairbrush. I'm just brushing out all the tangles and knots because when you braid hair, it's really difficult if the tangles get stuck and it just makes everything a lot more difficult. So I'm just brushing it, getting all the knots out, and then I'm gonna separate it into two sections because I'm doing two braids. So I'm gonna separate it, part her hair, and tie off one section, which you'll see in a second. After I've separated the hair into two parts, I take a small section from the top of one side and separate it into three strands, and I just make them as even as possible. And then I do one normal braid, like normal stitch, and then I'll grab a piece from each side of the head, so adding one into the right side and one into the left side, and then continuing another braid. And I continue this process all the way down the head. So this is me doing the same thing, just from a different angle, from a side angle, and I'm just doing the same stitching, taking from each side and braiding, and then repeating that process all the way down. If you're doing it correctly, your braid should start to form and it should kind of look something like this. And then once all the hair is gathered from the bottom, you just continue a normal braid, crossing one strand over the other, and repeat that all the way down, and then tie it off with a hair tie. So this is just one side of it, and I'll just repeat the same process on the other side. This is kind of like a slow motion version, so if I went too fast in the beginning, you can kind of see a slower version of what I'm doing. So I'm grabbing from each side, one from the left and one from the right, and then crossing those strands underneath the middle strand rather than over like you would in a French braid. And that's really it. That's how you Dutch braid. these are just some final photos. I hope you learned something today. This is how to Dutch braid. Thank you.